Good morning, you two goofballs. Good morning. I love my friends. Derek and Bill. 3 hours apart, but you wouldn't know it. You'd think you guys were in the same room. Good morning, nerds. Good morning, everybody. Trenty. Trent, is it okay if I read the first half of your letter to me? I would love to read the first half of your letter, if that's okay with you. Good morning, everybody. Rexy and Marky Z. Mark told Dawn I said hello. B. Hendricks, I agree with you. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Richard. Richard, I have a reading from you I'm going to read to the group this morning. So give us a few minutes for a few people to get here. Thank you, Dawn. It was nice to see you. Good morning. Trent, are you still there? Good morning, Sparky to Sparky Sparkerton. How are you feeling today, Sparky? Thank you, Trent. I appreciate you. I appreciate you very, very much. Good morning. Oh, Sharon, I'm sorry to hear that. Is there anything I can do? You let me know if there's anything you think I can do. We tried to send you a little bit of supplementaries, but you were nervous about that, and I understand. You let me know. You're always such a sweet lady, and you've been generous in many ways to us, and I thank you. Good morning, Lynette and Queenie. Good morning. 18 people, 10. Who else is here that I missed? Did I miss anybody? Yeah, I keep missing everybody here. Good morning, Sue Little. Good morning. I love reading your guys' notes when you say good morning to each other. Richard used to be our smash monitor. Back in the day when, now we're at 19 people, 18 likes. Richard, you must be rubbing off on us. Rodman, good morning. Gypsy, how are you, my dear? Give Preston a pop hug. Good morning, everybody. Threaten them, huh, Rich? Good morning, everybody. Exception. Thank you, Gyps. Good morning. Gypsy, I would love to hang out with Preston one day and work in his workshop, in his working with him. I've done woodworking most of my life, except the last 10 or 15 years now, but early 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s. But I bet you he has a lot he could teach me. You love hanging around with craftsmen. Good morning, Paige and Jesus. Good morning, Hagee. Good morning. I would like it too, Gyps. I think we would. He could impart a great deal of experience to me. Yep. Good morning out there to everybody. 30 people, 20 likes. Richard Bruette would ask you to smash the like button. And you don't even have to do that. If you just double tap your screen, I understand that works too. You don't have to smash anything. Just tap, tap, double tap. Daniel, forgive and love. Me and my son are having breakfast right now. He's 1 year old. That's adorable, Daniel. What are you giving him for breakfast? Is he eating baby food still? Or are they on solids by now? I don't really know. I forget. I never had to worry about that with Brock. He had a tube, a feeding tube, and for the first 3 or 4 years, we just blend his food and put it through his feeding tube. Little guy didn't eat a solid piece of food for about the first 3 or 4 years. Homemade biscuits, sausage, and eggs. Eggs. That sounds good. Richard, I made the couch this morning. I did a couch crash last night. But I always make the couch. Truth. Good morning. 32 people, 24 likes. Get me up to about 35 people and we'll get this thing started. Good morning, Mello. Good morning. Calico Kitty, meow. Good morning. Good morning. Calico Kitty, I'm going to make a confession to you. I often forget who you are, what your given name is. And it reminded me yesterday when you sent me that email. Chicken and dumplings. Oh my God, I haven't had a dumpling in 20 years. Haven't had a dumpling in 20 years. Is that true, Paranoid? You don't make your bed immediately? Why, you want to let the bed bugs out? That's weird. Kind of makes sense though. Like if you sleep hot or something like that, you might want to let everything cool off before you make it. Dust mites. Yeah. That's really just our skin, isn't it? That's us shedding. I read somewhere 90% of the dust in your house is actually your skin. It's kind of creepy. And if you guys know, those of us that are getting older, are we getting more scaly as we get older? Okay? We're getting scaly as we get older. Everything and softer. The collagen is leaving and it's easy to get a scratch and bleed. This corpus delect guy. Sharon, I've never been a lotion person, but Higgs, do you agree? You getting a little scalier? Ew, nerd, I don't do that. I shower because I don't want to look at my off water. Oh, geez, let's turn this baby around. Good morning. Good morning to all of y'all. We shed a layer all the time. It's just crazy how sheddy we are. Little coconut oil fixes the scale. Queenie, I need a pretty wife like you have to apply the lotion to me. It always feels weird to me to lotion myself. Bubblegum, you had a wild dream about wild shrooms. Yeah, Paranoid, you're creeping me out over there. Thanks for reminding me how sheddy we are. Okay. Good morning. Joe Dees, that was a nice, thoughtful letter that you wrote to me yesterday. Made me do some thinking and some evaluating. And this is just to Joe right now, okay? This is to Joe. Joe, I'm not too worried about that situation. Couple of reasons. One, the person that was the original person that had a concern, they lived down in Corpus Christi, Texas. And it's been months and months and months and months since I've had anything to do with them. And it was only a gift that I had sent. And then things that I could tell they were going haywire from some of the emails that I was receiving. And so I just cut it off. And the person that you're concerned about, rightfully so, I have seen here before yesterday. They pop in and they pop out every now and then. And they also live in Ohio. So the nexus from, I don't quite catch a connection that concerns me between what your concern was and just geographically, etc. It'd be hard to ask somebody in Ohio to represent you if you're living in Corpus Christi. So, okay, but geez, it was sure thoughtful of you, and you put your ideas together very well, and enough to make somebody think and evaluate before I made any other moves. Captain Obvious, I have news for you. Calico Kitty wrote to me yesterday. Remember, Calico Kitty won scale game yesterday. Okay? And when he went to send me his address, instead of actually receiving his address, I received a letter that said, would you please send my package to Captain Obvious, because she's obviously extremely generous, and I would like to have my package sent to her. So we did that. It was sent out yesterday along with a small thing that I had for you. So if you're looking for tracking, I can send that to you. You let me know. Yeah, you do have my back, Joe, and I thank you for that. Okay? And Captain Obvious, your fairy godmother yesterday was Calico Kitty. Boy, Pops needs a trim. I'm gonna have to trim it up here pretty soon. I've been so incredibly busy. Truly busy. But and you know what? Busy's good. MTM, I'm 67 years old. Thank you for asking. 67. 67 years young, perhaps. Daniel, thank you. I was a hottie when I was young. No, I'm kidding. Are men allowed to be hotties? Or is that just girls? Or we're not even allowed to say hottie anymore in today's stuff. Are we allowed to still say hottie? Is that still acceptable? Good morning, Jason. Are we allowed to say hottie? McSteamy. Remember that guy? What was it? 9-1 was on one of those doctor shows or something. McSteamy. Oh, Derek, you never forget to make me feel wonderful. B. Hendricks, so are you. Grey's Anatomy, that's what it was, Sharon. Yes. Smart is very attractive, Bubblegum. I agree. So instead of saying hottie, do we just say smarty? I bet that we just call it Smarty. Okay? They have a new show. Pops thinks he's gonna try out for it. Okay? What's that show called, you guys? The Golden Bachelor. Is that what it is? Golden Bachelor, something like that. It was like they turned the Bachelor show into for 60-somethings. Okay? I don't watch it. I just saw the commercials for it. I watched about 2 episodes of the very first one. The Silver Bachelor, is it The Silver Bachelor? I watched about 2 episodes of the very first one a couple years ago, whenever it was. And I remember thinking to myself, this guy, the guy that they had being the Bachelor, first of all, it creeped me out because he had to kiss every single one of the girls. He had to. And I'm like, if I was the Golden Bachelor, I'm not kissing everybody. I'm not. I'm sorry if you don't like me because I'm not going to kiss you yet. I want to get to know you first. I'm not kissing you at the opening ceremony. Okay? This is not happening. And what we found out about that guy later on was he was kind of a shyster. The girl that he ended up going off the show with, that won the show with him, later on came out with some serious accusations. And I was like, you just don't know who you're dealing with anymore. You just don't know. Nipper Free and I talk still a lot, but he is in a different work situation. So he doesn't have a chance to get here to join us in the mornings. But Free and I, we still hang out. And as a matter of fact, I had the privilege of being able to send him something recently. Okay, let's get started. Richard Bruette. Richard B. About 2 years ago, 3 maybe. If you guys remember, we talked about it yesterday. We used to send in inspirational writings or something inspiring if you want a package of something. Okay? And it was a beautiful thing, but then it kind of started getting mixed up, and then where's your reading? And now I'm like being a reading monitor, and some people sent it on time and some people didn't. But I always loved to get messages from Richard because his writing was so, for me, creative and thoughtful. Okay? Give me 5 people that want to hear the little, he called it a blurb, but I'm going to call it a poem. Give me 5 people that want to hear Richard Bruette's recent poem to me. Exception, you were the sheriff. I remember. I forgot about that. You were the one that had to scare him up and remind him you owe Pops a reading. You guys are ready? Let's show off Richard for a minute. Here we go. Give me a second. Turn down this piano. Alas, here we sit in grass and grit, with thoughts of the life beneath that we see. Knowing a pulse resides just below, beating continuously with the forever expanding reach, seeking death to consume and new connections foster, unknown to man, but essential to life. This multitude of mycelium brings light to the understanding that we are. Whoops, I lost my place. No, this multitude of mycelium brings light to the understanding that we are one. They breathe life into our souls and into our being, nurturing minds and equipping souls with tools to face the shadows looming deep, brought to us with many names and many gifts, oyster to psilocybe, chanterelle to amanita, you have never left us. Still so many misunderstand our friends below. One day, all humans shall know how important they are for us to grow. Richard's killing it. Richard's killing it, I'm telling you. I was telling him back in the day, we were gonna compile a bunch of his poems and try to publish a book. It was pretty good, huh, you guys? And he just, that's just a blurb I'm going to send you. That's pretty good. Good job. Richard, no kidding. We're not kissing your butt, but we do appreciate, boy, do we appreciate creativity here. Okay? Richard, that was always my goal, was to encourage you. To encourage talent. Give me 5 people that encourage talent around them. Give me 5 people that see talent around them and they encourage it and they support it. I'm waiting. Yeah, that was easy. That was the quickest 5 I've ever had. Okay, that was the quickest 5 we've ever gotten here. Bunny calls it a superpower. Yep. If you practice, you're talented. When you practice, you even get better at it. Do you not? Nerdy, I do the same. Surround myself with people more talented than I am and that I can learn from. Like you guys. Here we go. Trent. The Trenty Trenterson. It's been a little while, but if you guys remember back, Trent was undergoing some serious physical issues, facing some operations, and things that would cause for me fear, and that I would have to work through were I in the same situation. And Trent has been with us, and I don't know, just through the screen and virtual reality, I really like Trent. Always have. Well, I like you all. Trent wrote to me, and I'm going to read this first part of what he wrote. Wow, how time passes even without realizing it. I've been watching you for over a year now, and it's hard to believe it's been that long. I would have thought it was longer, Trent. Over this past year, I have done a lot in self-care, with a lot of positive influences from you and the community, which I appreciate. You guys have no idea how much you ripple. You don't. I wish you did. I wish you read everything that I get all the time. And I wish you understood that it doesn't focus on me. It really does focus on the community. It truly does. Because no man is an island. The 4 agreements has helped me also a lot. Of course, I'm still practicing daily, but I'm happy to see how much the perspective of my life is changing. My mind is so much clearer these days, not lost in my mind or a matote. He's paying attention. For the most part, it's nice. Nowadays, I'm working on fears, which could be called anxiety. But I am on a search for basic feelings and emotions that take place and practice working through those things now. Wait for this authentic statement. My biggest fear is to be seen as a person who wants attention. It's quite weird, as I admire you and your son, watching you both this year for the same qualities that I fear to display. That is why I rarely communicate. It's a battle between myself, but something I have identified and am working on. Once again, I want to thank you for everything you do teaching us daily. I want to thank the community for staying positive, showing kindness and compassion with one another. And then he goes on to give me an update on, he gives me a review on some of the things that we had the privilege to send in. And great reviews. But yeah, Trenty, you don't have to talk a lot. We know you're here, and there isn't. I love you. Bottom line. And I've seen some of your struggles, and I've seen you walk through them. And you're still here. Thank you. And thank you all for making Trent and other people feel the way you do. Okay? Thank you all. Appreciate it very, very much. Rando facto. Rando facto. Let's do a couple of rando factos. Okay? Look at that. B. Hendricks, big up to Trent. Nerdy wants to meet Trent. Herbie says, thanks for spending time. Yeah. Trent, you are loved. Isn't it beautiful that we have a spot that we can hang out like this? Grown men, grown women. Seeking ways to be good. You talk about a fulfilling life. Jesus Christ has a rando facto that his finger is not connected to his farts. Thank you, Jesus. I would have said it was the thumb. Remember doing that with my nieces and nephews. Pull my thumb. Oh, God. Whoever did the pull my thumb to one of their nieces and nephews, you can tell the truth. Whoever did a pull my thumb, and then just as they did, boop. Derek did it. Derek did it. I can see Derek doing it now. Okay. Yes, it is free group therapy bubblegum. I love bubblegum. He's such a sweet man. Whoever did... No, we're not doing ovens, Derek. Stop. So it doesn't look like too many of you done the thumb. Either that or you just don't want to admit it. Okay? Notorious. You have to time it perfectly. You have to time it. Okay? Oh, gosh. Oh, that's why they called me the Unk Man. I used to have all kinds of tricks I'd pull on my kids. I'll show you guys one tomorrow. Seriously, this is a pretty good one. You can get them every time. I'll tell you another one that I've done. Check this out. Pull this on one of your kids. Pull this on one of your kids, okay? They're in the passenger seat. You're in the driver's seat, okay? And you tell the kid, you know what, I would really like to see what it feels like to drive blind. Okay? Now, I don't know how the camera's working out for you guys, but the passenger seat would be on this side for me, right now where I'm sitting. Okay, so I'm driving, and I tell the kid sitting next to me, I'd really like to try driving blind, but I need a navigator. So you're going to be my navigator, okay? And now you go and you close your eyes. And you tell the kid, tell me when we're coming up to a stop sign. And you're kind of just driving along jerkily. And they're like, they're screaming at you, open your eyes, open your eyes. Okay? And you're like, no, you tell me when I'm supposed to stop. Okay? Little does the kid next to you know that you're driving like this. Okay? Derek's got it. You're driving like this, but all they see is this eye. And they're freaking out. And you're going, tell me when I'm supposed to stop. Come on. And they're stop. Or whatever. And then finally, once you have them so scared, you turn and you look at them and go, why? What's the matter? It works better in person. Okay? It does. It honestly works better in person. Oh, I'm scared the poop out of about 4 of my nephews. I'm going to take them early morning, go fishing. Okay? And I've done it a few times. I'm good at it. My acting ability like that. I think I'm scared, but I won't open my eyes. Okay? Stupid uncle stuff. Plasma TVs. Did you know that plasma TVs have to have their plasma changed every couple of years? I don't have a plasma, do I? Do I have to go in for a plasma change soon? Plasma TVs. Is that a true statement? Is that true that plasma TVs need to have their plasma changed every couple? It's almost like an oil change. Is that true or not, Summer? Okay. Derek's going, no. Billy D said that's BS. Okay? It's BS. Alright? Okay? Don't lie to the group, Pops. You don't need to change the ionized gases inside plasma displays after buying your plasma TV. Even if you did have to, the top tier plasma brands that are currently on the market have a half-life of 100,000 hours, which is more than enough to outlast your life. Okay? You're not worried about it. Don't even think about it. Is this true? Depression isn't a real illness. Depression isn't a real illness. True or false? Oh, you guys are saying you're wrong, Pops. It is real. We got a couple of truths, but most of us are saying no, it's real. The answer is, it's real. Depression is a complex disorder that has psychological, social, and biological origins. Depression is a mental illness that must be treated in various ways, and it shouldn't be ignored. Antidepressants can cure depression. Not true. While antidepressants do help with treating depression, therapy is often necessary, along with the medication, to help a person overcome the disorder. You can snap out of a depression. Not true. People who suffer from depression can't just snap out of it. Usually it's a medical condition. Often people who suffer from the disorder must seek medical help. I have my own personal opinion about this. And I know that there are many times it's a medical disorder, medical condition. But I also know that many times it's psychological. Simply. And we cannot snap out of it, but we can help out of it. Depression happens after a sad situation. Not true. Depression isn't just an occasional bout of unhappiness due to death or a breakup. Depression is diagnosed with unexplained periods of hopelessness, sadness, and suicidal tendencies. These episodes come suddenly and inexplicably. Talking about depression will only make it worse. Not true. For a person who is suffering from depression, being left alone with their thoughts is much more harmful than talking to another individual about it. That's what we do here. Having supportive, reliable, wait a minute. Listen to this line. Listen. Having supportive, reliable, and non-judgmental listeners is crucial for the treatment of depression. Marijuana is physically addictive. True or false? Marijuana is physically addictive. True or false? We're all saying no. We got one true, but the rest of us are no's. No. I don't know that it's physically addictive. I think it's psychologically addictive. It is addictive. I've been addicted. But not physically. More emotionally and or psychologically. Less than 1% of people in the United States smoke marijuana more than once per day. Well, we must be in the 1% club here, huh, Jesus Christ? Habit forming, yes. An extremely low percentage of heavy users develop what appears to be a dependence, but it's really a habit that they have, and that's difficult to break, because marijuana really has no physical addiction. I'm just running through these. Dandruff. Dandruff is contagious. True or false? Dandruff is contagious. True or false? So if I walk by somebody that has it, their dandruff can pop onto my head, and now I have it. False. You guys are smart this morning. Dandruff is not contagious. However, it could be hereditary. You get it from your bald father. Oh, it was lice that was jumping, bunny? Dandruff can be cured. At least you can cure it. Right? At least you can cure dandruff. No, you can't. Dandruff can't be cured, but it can be easily controlled and prevented. Regular shampooing with dandruff shampoo and brushing can help with reducing the amount of dandruff you have. At least we know that dandruff isn't normal. It's kind of a rare condition. Dandruff affects over 50% of the world's population. You're standing in line with people at the grocery store, 6 people in line, 3 of them have dandruff. At least. Why am I talking about dandruff? I don't know. Washing your hair less will help with dandruff. Actually, washing your hair regularly will help prevent and control dandruff. This doesn't mean that you shouldn't wash your hair, that you should wash your hair every single day. But once every other day is a good idea. Dandruff can only happen on your scalp. Dandruff can happen on any hair growing part of your body. However, it's most commonly occurring on the scalp. Jesus Christ is going to have a lot of fun with that one. Okay? All right. I think we're going to move to this one thing, and then we'll jump into another thing. Hold on. Those were a couple of Rando factos. Give me a second here. There we go. Tricycle Day newsletter. The government just handed a tie, ATAI. ATAI is a company, that's working on psilocybin and other psychotropic drugs and finding ways to provide them for mental health purposes. They're still very, very much in their research phases, but they're also, believe it or not, they just got on the NASDAQ. And they're probably, for someone that's looking for an investment opportunity in the psychedelic field, a tie would not be a bad call based off of what I've been learning and researching. Along with Compass Pathways. We bought a small little teeny, not much, to see where it's going to go. But we bought a small portion into Compass Pathways. And we'll see where that goes in the next 3 or 4 years. Okay? But Pops is always watching the business end of this stuff. And it's the reason I am is because follow the money. Follow the money. The government just handed a tie $11.4 million. No strings attached. Well, except for all the strings. This week, Atai Life Sciences scored an $11.4 million grant from the NIDA, which is part of the NIH, National Institute of Health. It is to develop non-hallucinogenic psychedelic compounds for opioid addiction. Now, before you get all worked up about taxpayer dollars flowing to pharma, this is par for the course. The NIH hands out billions annually to biotech companies for drug development. So this isn't unusual. Now, it probably is under this administration. This is one of the ones that's pulling all those things. But in general, what makes this time special is that it's the second largest grant that the NDIA ever awarded for psychedelic research, and the first major federal psychedelic grant awarded directly to a private biotech company. It's pretty good. So here's what the feds are really paying for. Okay? The NIDA will provide 11.4 million over 5 years to optimize Atai's novel 5-HT2A receptor agonists. The compounds are meant to deliver psychedelic-like benefits without any hallucinogenic effects. Massive market. They're targeting opioid addiction, which affects 16 million people and costs $750 billion globally. $750 billion. It's going to take more than your tub in your basement to fix that problem. I hate to say it. It's going to take more than my grow house to help with that problem. It's going to take a big situation to make even the smallest dent. So I'm not hating. Safety first. The drug design will specifically avoid 5-HT2B activity, which has been linked to heart valve risks. 11.4 million is practically pocket change compared to the 63 million Atai raised in February. Still, federal grants are kind of like a legitimacy stamp in the drug development world. And Atai hasn't exactly taken the most welcome, well-trodden path. While most of their competitors have focused on a single molecule, like Compass Pathways with psilocybin, or Lycos-resilient pharmaceuticals with MDMA, Atai is collecting compounds like an overzealous psychonaut at Burning Man. The pipeline includes DMT, buccal film, R-MDMA capsules, 5-MeO DMT nasal spray, psilocin infusion, and ibogaine derivatives, and probably some other stuff we don't even know about. The grant is essentially a bet that quantity won't get in the way of quality. It's such a slippery slope because I don't want big pharma in our game. I don't want big pharma. Emotionally, I don't want that. But intellectually, I have to understand that it's going to take science and scientists at the highest level producing some sincere data, accurate, peer-reviewed data that can be presented to legislators so we can change the rules/laws. They're not going to change based off of anecdotal evidence from people like you and me. That is not the pathway. So unfortunately, or fortunately, I don't know, I hate to see pharma getting involved, but by the same token, I don't know how we can advance, most especially legally, without their involvement. So I pick and I choose and I look at the companies that I feel like, based off of my research, my own personal analytics, I'll invest and I'll be in support of companies that I think are doing it morally and with integrity, much like this company we talked about yesterday, Solutions, who won't even put an edible in a package if it hasn't been tested, completely proven, and everything that's in that package is on the label. That's right, Derek Anderson. I like what Bubblegum said. We have a duty to allow access to comfort care, either by farmer or pharma. I like that. I like that. We also have a duty to provide that care at the most minimal prices possible, because we're dealing with people in many cases that don't have the money to receive the care they need. There's Pops on his high horse, on my soapbox. I will personally always stick with the farmers too, Nif. I will. And I'll always be a farmer. But by the same token, I know that I can only impact. I mean, I'm certainly doing what I can to impact, but I don't have the budget that these people do. And I can't hire a scientist. I can't even start my own testing lab. Calico Kitty, thank you for being here this morning, and thank you for your generosity. Let's get back to the 4 agreements. The anti-opioid movement has become extremely lucrative. Jolie, I'm not going to say I disagree with you, but I don't know that the word extremely is accurate. And you know what? We need anti-opioid medicines and treatments, because the opioid crisis has been pretty out of control. They've kind of ratcheted back a little bit. The numbers are coming down from what they were 2 years ago. The amount of opioid addiction in the United States. And a lot of it comes from, you know where it comes from? Education. We need to talk about it more. And we need to talk about it openly, with no shame, and not judging somebody because they fell into that addiction. They were the majority of the time, it wasn't abuse, and it wasn't because they wanted to just go have a great time with an opioid. It was for pain management and mitigation. And the big pharma wasn't telling the truth when they first started out with their opioids. They told us up front that it's not addictive. They sold it to us that way. They sold it to the doctors that were prescribing it that way. And so the doctors were. And now we see, well, right here in Michigan, it was about a week ago, they put a doctor in jail in Ann Arbor. He's doing a 6-year stint because he decided this is a moneymaker. And he started, like we've heard of a few of them, rotten doctors that are over-prescribing it and prescribing it to people that don't need it, and knowing that they're giving it to drug dealers. Well, by gosh, that man should be in jail. You don't belong in society until you can own up to it and understand the pain and misery that you're dealing out to people, so you can drive a Mercedes-Benz and live on the hill. Shame. And you don't, didn't you take a Hippocratic oath? To me, the Hippocratic oath has to be one of the most inviolable oaths that you could take on the planet Earth. I'm just looking at some of your comments here. Justin's a nurse and he gets it. Let's look that up. Let's look that up. Hippocratic Oath. I'll read the Hippocratic Oath tomorrow. It's kind of long. I'll read the Hippocratic Oath tomorrow. That's a good one Lynette brought to my mind. Let me read the Hippocratic Oath tomorrow. It looks like it's longer than I thought. I'd love to read that. Give me 5 people that want me to read the Hippocratic Oath tomorrow. Justin's made a great point. He's an insider. The big issue is healthcare workers take the oath, but nobody else that regulates healthcare or does insurance or pharmaceutical sales or drugs has to take that oath. That's fantastic. So true. No, they're taking an oath to their BMWs and Mercedes. Okay, Lynette, I'm going to read it tomorrow. Very quickly, we only have a few minutes left. We've had a great, gosh, does time fly here, you guys? Next thing you know, I turn around and I'm like, it's poop, boop, everything's gone. When you do your best, fourth agreement, when you do your best, you'll learn to accept yourself. But you have to be aware, and you have to learn from your mistakes. Learning from your mistakes means what? How do you learn from your mistakes? This is Pop's favorite word. If you guys know Pop's, the answer is my favorite word. How do you learn from your mistakes? Give me, what's Pop's favorite word? Derek knows it. You practice. That's how you learn from your mistakes. You don't practice doing the same thing over and over. What you do is, learning from your mistakes means you practice. You look honestly at the results of what you've done, and you keep practicing. This increases your awareness. Doing your best really doesn't feel like work because you enjoy what you're doing. You know you're doing your best when you're enjoying the action or doing it in a way that will not have negative repercussions for you. You do your best because you want to. You do your best because you want to. You can also do less than your best because you want to. You do your best because you want to, not because you have to. And not because you're trying to please the judge. And not because you're trying to please other people. Coming from a recovering people pleaser, that's 100% true. Back in the day, I would fake I was doing my best and hope I'm getting attention for it. Hope I'm impressing you. And deep down inside, knowing this really isn't my best. I'm performing, I'm an actor. I'm a phony baloney. You think I'm doing my best, but I know I'm not. But I'm not doing it for me. I'm doing it for how I look to you. That's something I'm recovering from. That's not the Hippocratic oath. That's the hypocrite oath. I think I took a hypocrite oath. I look back on my life and there were so many hypocritical things that I would do. 90% of the time it was so I would be accepted by you and I'd get attention too. Now I'd rather just tell you the truth. Be impeccable. You do your best because you want to. If you take action because you have to, you're not going to be doing your best. If you're not going to be doing your best, it's better to not do it at all. I heard that a lot from my parents. If you can't do your best, don't do it at all. If you can't give with a free and open heart with no expectations, don't do it. You're doing it for the wrong reasons. You're doing it for the trade-off you're going to get. No, you do your best because it makes you happy. Good morning, Brooke. You do your best because it makes you happy. I want to live a happy life. I am living a happy life. Why do you do your best? How many people here want to be happy? You just want to be happy. You just desire happiness. It'd be hard to say, no, I don't want to be happy. No, I'd rather stay in my creepiness. We all want to be happy. We all want to be happy. The quickest way to being happy is know internally that you're doing your best. I love the fact that my best isn't always the same. So I don't get to judge myself. Well, you did better yesterday. You sure did better last week. You better do better tomorrow. And just one day at a time. Today I'm doing my best. Today I'm reading readings and dispensing some of the information I have to the best of my ability. Makes me feel good. When you feel good, your self-image is improved. When you feel good, you like yourself more /love. When you know internally you're not doing your best, you're a corner cutter, you're a phony, you're doing it for someone else, you're doing it for show and attention, deep down inside that soul hurt. Your soul will hurt. So don't do it at all. Pete Hendricks has been liking himself lately. That's such a beautiful thing to say. Who likes themselves more today than they did 3 months ago? Please answer that. Who likes themselves more today? Look at Brooke, happier now than she's ever been. You know how much mental wellness comes from a statement like that? Do you understand the power of that? Because again, our words are pure power. Our words are magic. If I can say I like myself more today than I did 3 months ago, I'm going to go look back and look at what have I been practicing for the last 3 months that have made me feel that way. And I want to keep practicing that same thing. Because I don't think happiness has a limit. I don't think you reach a limit of, okay, I'm as happy as I'll ever be, that's it, stop. Not that I need to be happier, but I know I will be. You do your best all the time because it makes you happy. When you're doing your best just for the pleasure of doing it, you're taking action because you enjoy the action. Action is about living fully. I look at myself and I'm always in action. I'm in action from the minute I wake up. I start reading, I start researching, I start putting together the program for the day. I already know what I'm going to do right after, which is usually take Ruff for a ride. He reminds me every morning, hey, are we going for a ride today? There's times I don't even need to go anywhere. But Ruff sits there and he stares at me almost every day right when the show's over. He goes, I heard him stop talking to all his friends. I think it's time to go for a car ride. He's adorable. And he sits there and stares at me. And all you have to do, it's like, remember when you had babies? And sometimes in order to put them to sleep, you had to put them in the car and drive them around the block and they'd fall asleep. Remember those days? Well, Ruff's like that baby. But every day. And he isn't growing up. He's still the baby he was. He needs his car ride. Like, I'm not going anywhere. Yeah, you are. You got to drive me around. And the funny thing is, because dogs don't really have a sense of time, I could be driving to Toledo, which is an hour and a half away, or I could be driving around the block, and it's a 5-minute ride, and he's just as happy. As far as he's concerned, he just got a ride to Toledo. And I tease him about that. When we get out of the car, I go, how is Toledo? I do. Because I know he doesn't know that he was only in the car for 3 or 4 minutes. I don't know why I'm rambling about that. But it's one of my do's I have to do. Okay? Paige, he's so cute. It's not even funny. I love my dog. He is habituated to having a car ride every day. Okay? Nowadays, he's hoping we're going fishing. He doesn't care where we're going. He doesn't. He sits in the... And I've always tried to get him to ride in the front seat with me. In the passenger seat. No. He's a backseater. He has to be in the back seat. Do I have a picture? I took a picture of him a couple of days ago in the back seat. I go, this kid is adorable. There it is. There it is. He's getting ready to go for his ride. We're getting ready to pull out of the garage. There he is. You ready? Let's go to Toledo. There we go. We're going to Toledo. Or we're riding around the block. He's adorable. And I've created that habit in him too, by the way. Gary's in the Rolls Canardly. My first car was a Rolls Canardly, you guys. Okay? My first car. I had a Rolls Canardly. I was the only kid in school to have a Rolls Canardly. Yeah, I could roll down one hill, can hardly make it up the next. Yeah. Get yourself a Rolls Canardly. Action is about living fully. I want Ruff to live fully too. Inaction is a way to deny life. Inaction is not living. You're denying every one of your skills and talents and opportunities to help and give. Inaction is sitting in front of the television every day for years because you're afraid to be alive. And you're afraid to take the risk of expressing who you are. Expressing what you are takes action. You know them by their fruit. You don't know them by their thoughts, because you don't know people's thoughts. But you know a person by their fruits, by their actions. We don't judge them. But if I go up to an orange tree, I know the orange tree by its fruits. If that tree never fruited, never bore fruit, it just sat there as a stick in the mud, 2 leaves on it, I wouldn't even know what kind of fruit was on that tree. But I know a tree by its fruit. I know a person by their actions. You are known by your actions. You're known externally by people, and you're also known internally by yourself. Your self-image is going to be based off of your actions, not your thoughts. We can all sit around and have wonderful thoughts. We can also have terrible thoughts. But what are our actions? That's how I know who I am. That's how I know who you are. In this case, in our venue here, I know you by your comments. I know your senses of humor. I know your intelligence. I know your experience. I know your attitude. I know your kindness. I know your generosities. I know so much about you guys from your action of placing a comment. When you are feeling crappy about yourself, you're probably not in action. Expressing what you are takes action. You can have a great many ideas in your head, but what makes the difference is the action. Without action upon an idea, there will be no manifestation, no results, and no reward. And didn't we just say a few minutes ago, what's action? Let's go back 1 page. Practice. Practice. What are you practicing? You practicing sitting in your hole? Or are you practicing giving? If you're practicing sitting in a hole, you probably have a less of a self-image than the person that's practicing giving and helping and caring and providing and teaching and leading and hugging and helping. All of those things just make a human being feel amazing. You know yourself by your actions. I'll finish with this. A good example of this comes from the story about Forrest Gump. I love Forrest. He didn't have great ideas, but he took action. Have you ever seen a happier character in a movie than Forrest Gump? That dude was a ball of happiness. He was not the sharpest knife in the drawer, but he was always in action. He didn't have great ideas, but he took action. He was happy because he always did his best at whatever he did. I love Forrest Gump. He showed up everywhere. And everywhere that he was doing his best. Whether he was running or playing ping pong or gathering shrimp or showing up at presidential inaugurations or whatever he was doing. That dude was happy. Just keep running. He was richly rewarded without expecting any reward at all. Forrest didn't do stuff so somebody would tell him he's wonderful. He did it because he was happy. It made him happy. Taking action is being alive. It's taking the risk to go out and express your dream. Can I tell you that right now, I'm expressing my dream? I always dreamed of being able to have a group of friends, big group, that I could be loved by and love equally back. I always wanted that, all my life, and I've never had it until these last few years. I had a small nuclear group of friends, 3 or 4 guys, that was it. I have friends across the world right now. I got my friends through action. I didn't get my friends by sitting on the couch with my shades drawn. Rough gets happy through action. A ride around the block makes him happy as can be. Action. I'm living a dream-filled life today. I didn't say I don't suffer. I didn't say I don't experience pain, separation, an occasional self-doubt. Those try to creep in, but I chase them away. You know how I chase them away? How does Pops chase it away? Through action. I'll go grow something. I'll go help someone. I'll go do something. I'm happy driving rough around the block. It makes me feel happy because I'm making him feel happy. Action. I'm richly rewarded. And I didn't even have an expectation. It's taken the risk to go out and express your dream. Let me ask you guys, we're going to close with this for today. How many people think Pops is a risk taker? How many of you here thinks Pop takes risks? Of various kinds. I love taking risks. I live right on the edge. I've never been a guy that didn't want to live right on the edge. Every one of my sports were risky. Anything that I did, if I could add a little bit of risk to it. Even my mushrooms. Got a little risk in there. Makes me happy. I risk so my dreams can be bigger. Does that make sense? I take risks just so my dream can be bigger. Enough said. You guys get it. We'll pick up on the rest of this. There's not much left of this chapter. Well, that's not true. We got a couple more days. And I'm not holding myself up as some paradigm of virtue or anything. I'm just explaining to you guys that I'm an empirical example of how the 4 agreements work. Take risks, practice, take action, be self-aware, and understand the power of my word. And at the end of the day, every day, practice. Thank you guys for being here today. Thank you for listening to me. I see some new people popped on here. Please come back tomorrow and keep talking to us. We love to see new people here. Brooke's having a baby. Gosh, no wonder you're so happy, Brookie. Congratulations. Michael Patterson, the proof is in the pops. You know what? It's proof to me. I experienced my own proof, and I kind of like it. I kind of like it. Brooke, I'm so happy for you. You guys go have a wonderful, beautiful day. Brooke, you keep popping back in here. We need you around here. I don't know how to go away. We've run so long today. I don't want to stop. I'm so happy. And Ruff's sitting right over there waiting for his ride. He's going, you're running long, dude. Because he has his own little clock. Because you're taking off a long time. Aren't we supposed to be going to Toledo? Deborah Pearl, good morning. And get out of here. I'll see you guys all tomorrow. Kimberly and Billy D and Niffer. And Jesus Christ and Milk. And Lucky Blue Lobster. There's one for you. And Herbie Malworthy Kabop and Joe D's. And Deborah My Pearl. And Carney the Carnivorous Carnivorton. Lynette. Woohoo! Brooke. Milky and Brookie and Marky Z and Mello and Cleany. And Morgan G. And Don Fight and Herbie and Morgan and Niffy. Summer Week, thank you. Thanks for being here. Joe D's and Jesus Christ and Pacey's. And Derek Anderson and Clean Grow and Mellow. Have a wonderful day, everybody. And Morgan and Sammy P and Lucky Blue. And Carnivorous and Jesus Christ and Milk and Jolie Cantor Summer. Autumn. Jimmy Max. Jimmy to the Max. Pidgey Page. Morgan. He's all into the Valhalla. Bubblegum. He's on Neighborhood Watch. Laura, have a divine day. I love Laura. Mark and Trenty, the Trenty Trenterson. Pacers, Mr. Phillips, Michael Patterson. Best day of waking up is tea in my cup. That's cute. Jesus Christ and Milk and Joe D's and Morgan, thank you. And Wizzy the Wazzy Wizzy Waz Wizardton. And Kim, the International Kindness Ambassador. B. Hendricks, feeling good. Pops, peace. If I don't stop now, I'm never going to stop. Go do your best. Pops out. Once you pop, the fun don't stop. Okay. Get out of here. I'll see you guys tomorrow.